Now, as Game of the Year goes, so far in 2025, is this my Game of the Year? This is one of those games which you're either going to love or you're either going to hate. Welcome to Path of the Fury, where you get to play as a Kung Fu martial artist, and you play in the truest of styles, not in futuristic VR graphics, but in a PS2 style game. Now, at the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical of what to expect with this, as with this sort of graphics, it's a sort of thing that a lot of game developers and companies have moved past, and this is a sort of thing that you'd expect to never really see in virtual reality. And there were moments which I did get a little bit nervous, I will be honest, and there were moments that were genuinely badass. Like, there were moments like this at the beginning, where I did wonder why the people didn't have faces and I was just sort of aimlessly punching them. The beginning does give you an idea of what you are going to be getting into, but in terms of the enemies and the base and where you basically are, here's the rundown of it. So this is essentially your main area, or your house, or the main hub area before you start any missions, and you get to have a little look at what is around in the certain details. This was recorded before the full release of the actual game, so it may look a little bit different to what I'm showing you right now, but this is essentially of what you've got. Of Tetsuo's Tower, if I pronounced that right, this is the first episode of what you get to play. You have a series of enemies and thugs and cops that you have to go and fight, and you gotta go and get the mastery of your different strikes in the shadows with a 1000 repetitive strikes. And you gotta make your way up to the Dragon Tower by fighting through all these different people and to not die and start again. Honestly, the whole layout and the art style of this game is so unique. I have to say, it's fairly beautiful to see such a retro style game in modern gear, if that makes sense. Aww. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but there's something so satisfying getting to see a really gritty Kung Fu style jiu-jitsu game where you are fighting on the streets of Japan and you are literally skin and teeth and all you've got is your fists to fight against these huge NPCs and characters. There's something truly amazing as well to just being able to fight 3 on 1 at the same time and absolutely wipe everyone out. In terms of the combat, you may or may not like how it works, but it does hold your hand quite a bit, so it does punch you into the right direction with fluorescent pads, which can be seen with the direction that I have been punching in the clips that have been shown. And when you go into a different color of blue where you've got to block, red where you've got a shield, and orange where they strike, it clearly shows a nice combat system where you don't get too confused with the concept of it, and once you do get into a rhythm, you do get into a sort of motion of how this does work, and then you can, in a John Wick-like style, blast your way through the level. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some parts where I do think, my god, it's so dark in here, who am I actually punching? There were moments exactly like this, where it was that dark, I was pretty much just flailing my arms in the air, hoping for the best that I actually didn't die, and I actually hit someone. And you know what, it did work for a little bit, but my god, I could not see a thing. So there is a story mode for people that are wondering if I can do more than just fight, and if you are not interested in a story mode and you want to just endlessly fight, or maybe have a few different game modes, in the main hub area of your house you will be able to as well go on to an endless mode and choose the different arenas of places that you've already unlocked and go to fight in there. But if that doesn't tickle your fancy either, you can do limited time game modes where you have to defeat enemies within a certain time limit. By the time you all are able to access this game on the Quest 3 and 3S, the difficulty should be rebalanced for all of you, so NPCs shouldn't be too difficult or too harder in one group or another. There is a lot of usability improvements, meaning that you will be able to replay certain levels of your choosing if you're not happy with how that turned out, and you will be able to unlock New Game Plus once you have finished an episode or the whole entire series whenever that does get released as a collection, with an infinite game mode too. As for something new in the terms of VR fighters, this is something very exciting that I can't wait for all of you to go and try yourselves. This is at a reasonable price as well, so it shouldn't be too expensive for the average VR player who's looking for something new in terms of fitness and to sweat out maybe a little bit too. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Is this a game that you will be getting, or is this going to be another one that you pass on? Let me know, but as always, thank you so much for watching. My name's Shen. Enjoy the rest of this infinite game mode.
Oh.